former Phoenix Sun, current NBA on TNT analyst Jamal Crawford joining us right now on the Arizona Sports Line. Jamal, thanks for the time, man. What's going on?
No problem. Thanks for having me. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, man. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Of course. No, thank you.
Jamal, let's just kind of start with your perception of this Suns team. Some people, look at them and see a lot of talent. Some people look at them and think that there may be issues ahead for them or even currently. Do you think they have things they need to fix, or do you think they're still on the right path?
I see both. I think they're absolutely on the right path. I think, to be honest with you, they're built for the playoffs. I think they'll have more success there than they do. I think this right now is getting a rhythm, getting habits, but I would love to see them get another guard in the rotation, another big guy in the rotation, and whether that's through trade or through free agency. I'm not free agency. Yeah, when guys are, up, I think if they're possible guys may get waived or whatever, I think that can help. I think a guard like a Tyus Jones, let's say, will be a great guy. May not be a starter for the team, but he could be somebody that can conduct and organize and just keep things afloat during times where it gets a little bit stale.
Jamal, when you look at the big three for the Suns, of course, Devin Booker, KD, and Bradley Beal, when you look at them, what do you see as their biggest strength, and what do you see as their biggest weakness, just of the big three?
I think of just those three, the biggest strength is they're all mismatches, right? And they've all bought in. And I think that's probably the most difficult thing to do when you have three guys at that level of knowing that, we've all bought in, but this game may be your game a little bit more. This quarter, it may change quarter to quarter at times. That's their biggest strength. Their biggest weakness is just having time with those three together. I think, they hit a nice spot where they were rolling, and then the injuries come up again. Now you have to reacclimate to the team and get that chemistry back. But I think just having time on their hands with them together has been their biggest weakness because there hasn't been a lot of it. But in spurts, they look just absolutely dynamic, and I'm holding on to that hope that that's who they'll be in the playoffs.
We're talking to Jamal Crawford. Jamal, you obviously played with the Suns, and you played with Devin Booker. And he was a couple years into his career at that point. Just from what you know about Book, how does he handle adversity behind the scenes?
Oh, he's great at that. I think, honestly, Book's one of the few stars that I played with that embrace adversity. And it's not that you want adversity to come, but when it does come, you want a guy like Book behind the scenes because he'll continue to push even harder in the right direction. He'll continue to lead even more behind the scenes. He'll continue to, step up his leadership and challenge himself. He's not the guy that points fingers. He's the guy that looks in the mirror first, makes an honest assessment, and then he builds out from there. So Book, I knew would be a superstar. I just knew it. I knew the qualities. A funny story about Book is when I was there, we played one-on-one almost every day. And he won most of the days, but sometimes when he would win, and I would say, yeah, you won today, but we have 15 wins. It bothered him. It really, really bothered him. And he would ask questions afterwards. What's the playoffs like? What's this situation like? And I'm like, oh, he's going to be a great one because he wants it. He wants to know the details and the hidden secrets of the game. He was working towards it even then. So I knew this guy would be here.
Jamal, do you think Book is an alpha-type leader in a locker room? Do you think he's a guy that will walk up and challenge his teammates?
Absolutely. Absolutely see that. Obviously, he's far in his career, per se, but he's still a young guy overall. So he absolutely is that kind of leader. He's not scared, but you can only be that kind of leader if you're doing the right things, right? You can't challenge somebody or call somebody out on their stuff if you're not doing the right things for the team. And he absolutely does that. I've seen it firsthand. Even when we weren't as good and weren't fighting for something, now he's been to the finals. He's done all these wonderful things since. But that foundation is like having a house. You could have a mansion, you could have an apartment. If the foundation's not right, it doesn't matter what you have. And his foundation's been right.
We're talking to Jamal Crawford. Jamal, the matchup tonight in Denver against the Nuggets. Denver's got a good record. They don't have the best record in the NBA, but in your mind, are they still the team to beat?
Yeah, they are. I mean, if you look at where they're at, right, they're not even playing record-wise like they were last year at this time, but they're still right there in the thick of things. And when you have Joker, who's just incredible, he's an all-time great already. And I know sometimes in today's culture we throw that around, very easily, but he genuinely is an all-time great. You always have a chance, and their connectivity and how they play. And they've taken random to another level. I thought the Warriors were kind of the kings of random, and you had to have high IQ players to play in that system. Same thing with Denver, the way they cut, the way they move, how he's the hub. It just really gives them a whole different dynamic than just about everybody in the league.
Jamal, what do you think you have to counter? You're never going to eliminate the Joker, of course, but what do you think? What kind of player do you have that helps to counter some of the stuff that Joker does on the court?
To be honest with you, I said this last year when I covered the finals. I said Joker is so good, he's not really playing against Miami right now. He's playing against Spoelstra because he always has a counter. And it's like you do this, I do this. You do this, I do that and that. And so from what I've seen, as good as he is, if I was coaching against Joker, I would make him a scorer because he's naturally unselfish. He naturally wants to give everybody the ball. He averages – almost 30 the last couple of years, and think about it, he doesn't even want to score. He's like, no, brother, I'll get you one. Like he feels like he's being selfish no matter what he's shooting. So not saying he can't score. He scores with the best of them, and he can score inside and out. But naturally, who he is as a person, I would probably play off the emotion of making him a scorer and say, okay, Joker, you're going to score 50 tonight. And, nobody else really getting rhythm. And I don't think he's as comfortable doing that.
Well, and we saw that. We saw him go off for about 50 in one of the losses to the Suns last year in the playoffs. Jamal, in your mind, is there a team that is built to beat Denver in a 7-game series right now?
I think the Celtics have a great shot. I think if the Lakers can get in, I'm not sure they can beat them, but I think they'll be a tougher team to deal with in the West. And then Phoenix. I picked Phoenix to go to the finals before the season, and I'm not going to change now. I just would love to see them make a couple small moves that could pay big dividends. Even the Royce O'Neal move, that was like a sneaky good pickup. That wasn't a one that took all the headlines, but he's a player who can fill in so many different areas. He can handle the ball. He can play make. He can defend. He can play off of people. He does so many different things. If they can do another one or two sneaky little pickups like that, it'll really shore up a lot, and I think it can really cover a lot of mistakes and problems they have right now.
So, Jamal, when I look at the Suns, I say it all the time, it feels like there's something in the way. There's something that is not coming together, something that is allowing teams to go out there, teams that are inferior to actually go out and maybe some nights be competitive and just other nights beat them, flat out beat them. I mean,
and you know what, to your point, when you have a big three like they have, I really believe, it's going to just take time. It'll look nasty. It'll look ugly at times. Remember the Celtics when they had their big three? Mm-hmm. Ray Allen was the clear guy that was going to sacrifice, and Kevin Garnett wasn't the guy who was focused on scoring. So it put Paul Pierce naturally in his scoring position. Even he had to pass a little bit more. With these three guys, you got three guys who are two guys are really young, and KD is still at such a high level, we can say he's young as well in that way, right, who can still get it done at the highest level. So that's just going to take time to work out the kinks.
So
because
you
now
would
you
say
really have
time.
to step outside yourself.
Jamal, you would say you would say it's going to take time right now. That's something that's in the way for these guys. Is that right?
That's part of it. But I think having that point guard, could you imagine somebody like a Tyus Jones in the fourth quarter, start the fourth quarter like, hey, fellas, no, hey, Kev, we're playing through you right here. We're going to go this way. And guys kind of fall in line or book, you got to go in tonight. We're going to you first. And guys play off of that. Just that conductor on the court and that organization on the court, I think can help shore up those losses because they've had a lot of leads in the fourth quarter that have slipped away. And I think that's where that point guard, that heady guy can really organize things. And not even that he has to be a great scorer, be a great organizer.
Yeah, the fourth quarter, that's a sore subject around here. You definitely hit it right there, Jamal.
Yeah. I know, but let's get out the way now. We suffer now and live like a champion later if you can figure part of that out.
Yeah, no, I like that. Jamal, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. That's Jamal Crawford, of course, NBA on TNT analyst and former Phoenix Sun, joining us there on the Arizona Sports Line. Yeah, some of those one-on-one games between Jamal Crawford and Devin Booker in the 2018-19 season are legendary, depending who you talk to, including Jamal Crawford.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear some of those, and Booker's talked about him as well.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.